They believed you were finished. They witnessed the quietness surrounding your existence and interpreted it as defeat. They observed what you lost, what never came to pass, what collapsed, and silently branded you as done. Some announced it openly, others concluded it privately in their thoughts, respectfully dismissing your journey as one containing too many obstacles, too many postponements, too much destruction to possess genuine promise. They assumed your quietness signified failure. They confused your calmness for the lack of direction. But what they couldn't perceive, what they could never measure, was what I, the Almighty, your Creator, was orchestrating behind the scenes. Because while they evaluated your worth by what was apparent, I was constructing something timeless within you that no one could monitor, calculate, or destroy. They assumed it was finished. But I declare to you now, I was just beginning. I observed as people overlooked your gifts because they didn't arrive in the form they expected. I watched as they encouraged others while quietly bypassing your voice, your concepts, your existence. I watched you question if it was your fault, if you were the issue. I witnessed how you began to accept their silence, how you started doubting your judgment, your timing, your worth. But let me state this clearly. You were never the issue. You were a challenge. Not because you pushed anything, but because my favor has always rested upon you. And what carries my favor cannot be dismissed forever. It might be postponed, it might be hushed for a time, but it cannot be halted. Not when I have appointed it, not when I have established it, not when I have declared a word that cannot fail. You experienced things that almost destroyed you. Not just external situations, but the internal breaking that no one witnessed. The doubts, the pain, the emptiness you couldn't describe. The endless nights where you pleaded with me to speak something, anything, just to assure you that I was still present. You didn't abandon me in that darkness. Even when your faith wavered, even when you felt angry, even when you didn't comprehend, you remained. And that is why this message is for you. Because you didn't lose me in the shadows. You discovered me there. And what we created in that hidden space, what I developed inside of you while the world assumed you were finished, is about to be unveiled. Not in bursts of feeling, in consistent, undeniable transformation. This is not merely recovery, this is restoration with intention. I am not returning what you lost. I am giving you what I always intended, but now you are prepared to handle it. I don't waste suffering. I don't allow tears to fall without nurturing something. And every tear you shed in silence has been counted. I was not quiet because I was uncaring. I was quiet because I was working. I was constructing something that couldn't be rushed. I was removing things you didn't realize were damaging you. I was clearing pathways that didn't appear blocked to you. I was preparing people, environments, and moments that needed to be perfectly aligned before I opened the next opportunity. The transformation you're about to witness is not just circumstantial, it's personal. I'm rewriting the story that others assumed they had the authority to define. I'm changing the direction of what appeared like restriction. I am shifting the burden of what you carried and placing it on my shoulders. You will no longer walk burdened by the assumptions of others. You will walk upright, not in pride, but in understanding. You will know you are selected. Not because of what happens around you, but because of what I've confirmed within you. This is the power of reversal. It doesn't just change what you possess, it changes how you perceive. It changes how you carry what I provide. It removes shame and replaces it with confidence. They thought you were finished because they stopped watching. But I never looked away. I never stopped monitoring your progress. I never once withdrew my plans because of a failure, a delay, a mistake, or a stumble. The purpose I placed on your life has not expired. It has grown. It has deepened. And now it will begin to appear, not by force, but by grace. You don't need to struggle for recognition. You don't need to plead for chances. What belongs to you cannot be taken. What I release cannot be blocked, and I am releasing it now. The proof of transformation will begin internally. You will feel peace in areas where you used to feel fear. You will feel strength in places that once felt vulnerable. You will feel joy, not manufactured emotion, but rooted certainty that I am with you and I have never departed. Then you will begin to witness doors opening. Connections will come without manipulation. Invitations will arise without effort. Spaces will make room for your presence, not because you demanded it, but because I ordained it. People who once overlooked you will begin to seek your voice, your wisdom, your input, not out of pity, but out of recognition. The respect they withheld will be restored, not for your pride, but for my glory. But I want you to remember this. Don't respond from resentment. Don't let vindication become your driving force. I didn't bring you this far to prove a point to people. I brought you here to fulfill a promise. Let me deal with those who doubted. Let me handle those who misunderstood. Your task is not to prove yourself. Your task is to walk in what I give you, with joy, with grace, with power, and with humility. That is the true mark of those who have passed the test of hiddenness. They do not emerge bitter. They emerge burning with purpose. You were never finished. You were being rebuilt, and now the foundation is strong. The identity is secure. The silence has produced substance, and the delay has given birth to destiny. So step forward not with fear, not with doubt, not with apology. Step forward with peace. Step forward knowing that I, the Lord your God, am going before you. I am standing behind you. I am walking beside you, and I am covering you completely. They thought you were finished, but I just started. I want to speak now not just to the part of you that's ready to move forward, but to the part of you that still carries quiet hesitation. The part that wonders if you'll be strong enough for what's ahead. The part that remembers what it felt like to be overlooked, to be dismissed, to be underestimated. That inner voice that says, "What if they were right about me?" I hear it even when you don't voice it aloud, and I want to silence it. Not with noise, not with empty declarations, but with truth. Here is what I want you to understand. I never changed my mind about you, even when you questioned everything, even when your confidence shook, even when you stepped back and let others go ahead, even when you doubted your own value. My decision concerning you has never been based on your perfection. It has always been rooted in my purpose. I chose you knowing everything. knowing your process, knowing your weakness, knowing your hesitations, and I still called you. I still anointed you. I still protected what you carry, even when you didn't feel worthy of it. You have spent too long trying to earn a place that was already yours. You've tried to be perfect when I simply wanted you to be present. You've tried to meet expectations I never placed on you. You've tried to meet expectations I never placed on you. You've measured your value by how others respond to you, how doors opened or didn't. But that's not how I measure. I measure differently. I don't look for what impresses. I look for what surrenders. And you, my child, have surrendered more than most will ever know. In quiet places, in painful spaces, you laid down your right to be understood. You let go of the need to be seen. You chose me even when it cost you connection, visibility, and comfort. That matters more than you know. Let me speak now, not just to your obedience, but to your essence. Because your identity is not what you've done or haven't done. It's not the opportunities you've had or missed. It's not the applause you received or didn't receive. Your identity is who you are in me. And that has never shifted. You are mine. That truth stands above everything else. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not on the sidelines of my plan. You are central to it. You're chosen. You've wondered if maybe this is just a comforting word, but it's more than that. This is me putting a mirror in front of your soul and saying, this is who you've always been. Not the version the world accepted, not the edited version you tried to present to be safer, but the true you. The one I see when no one else is looking. The one I've been speaking to in dreams. The one I've been awakening in worship. The one I've been calling forward through every moment of delay. I haven't just preserved your gift. I've preserved your identity. And now I'm asking you to live from it. I want you to start believing again, not just in what I can do through you, but in who you are in me. I want you to believe that your voice matters, that your presence shifts rooms, that your wisdom carries weight. You've learned how to endure in silence. Now I want you to learn how to speak again, with confidence, with authority, with peace. You don't need to fight for your place anymore. You already have it. I placed you. And what I place, no one can remove. I want you to approach me with boldness again, not just when you're desperate, but when you're daily. I want you to talk to me like you believe I'm listening, not like you're trying to convince me. I want you to ask me what I think, not just what you should do. Because I'm not just a God who gives assignments. I'm a Father who gives identity. And everything I've ever asked of you has always been about pulling the real you forward. Not a version molded by pressure, not a personality shaped by rejection, but the original design. The one I spoke into existence before the world gave you names I never wrote. So let me tell you again how I see you. You are loyal, you are resilient, you are teachable, you are humble. You are wise, you are soft-hearted and strong-spirited. You are gifted in ways that haven't even been fully revealed yet. You're trusted by heaven. You're marked by grace, you're covered in mercy, and you are rising. Not because you've proven yourself, but because I've prepared you. Let me invite you now into something deeper. Come closer again. Return to the simplicity of being loved before the noise, before the need to accomplish. Let me restore your confidence, not through praise, but through presence. Let me remind you that you were never called to carry this alone, that I've walked with you the whole way. Not only in the moments you felt me, but in the ones where you felt most alone. I was there. I was still leading. I was still shaping it. And now I ask you to trust me again. Not with your perfection, with your surrender. Come to me, not with the version you think I want. Come to me with the real you, the one I've always wanted. Let me rebuild your faith, not around performance, but around my presence. Let me restore your hope, not through outcomes, but through encounter. Let me breathe into your identity again until your soul believes what I've been saying all along. You're not done. You're just getting started. And I am the one who is starting it. Now that your identity has been reaffirmed and your spirit is awakening to the truth that I've never abandoned you, it's time to talk honestly about the pain. Because it's not enough for me to call you forward without also addressing the weight you've carried. I don't just commission you and ignore your wounds. I don't speak promise without acknowledging what the process has cost you. I saw the tears you never told anyone about. I watched you walk into rooms where you had to smile while your heart was breaking. I was there the nights you tried to fall asleep but couldn't quiet your mind. The ache you've carried quietly, constantly, courageously. It matters to me. You have carried pain not just from circumstances but from misunderstanding, from rejection, from being misread and mislabeled. You gave your heart sincerely, but it wasn't received in the same spirit. You served from a pure place, and still they questioned your motives. You loved without holding back, and some walked away without explanation. You tried to stay soft when everything around you made you want to shut down, and through all of it, you kept walking. You didn't shut your spirit down completely, but you did start to close certain doors within. You stopped dreaming the way you used to. You stopped praying bold prayers. You started playing it safe, not because you lost faith in me, but because you didn't want to hurt like that again. Let me say this to you as clearly as I can. I understand that pain. I don't minimize it. I don't rebuke your process. I don't expect you to pretend like it didn't happen. I was there for every unspoken disappointment, every moment where you gave more than you had and it wasn't enough for the people you were trying to serve. Every season where you watched others succeed while you stayed in what felt like stillness. And I wasn't angry at your questions. I wasn't offended by your doubts. I welcomed your honesty, even when it came through tears, because I knew the weight of your process. And more importantly, I knew what I was forming through it. Pain can distort perspective. It can make you think I'm distant when I'm actually working. It can convince you that you've been disqualified when what's really happening is refinement. The enemy tried to use your pain to make you withdraw from purpose. He tried to convince you that pain meant failure, that delay meant disfavor. But pain is not punishment in my hands. It's preparation. When surrendered, pain becomes one of the most powerful places for transformation. I allowed the fire not to destroy you, but to burn away what couldn't go with you into what's next. I know what it's like to be misunderstood. I know what it's like to love and be rejected. I know what it's like to serve and be betrayed. I know what it feels like to carry something holy and have people around you try to minimize or control it. So when you come to me with your pain, know that you're not coming to a distant observer. You're coming to someone who has walked through it and overcame it. You're coming to someone who uses pain not to punish, but to purify. What hurt you didn't kill you, and now it's becoming the very soil where your authority is taking root. You've been through what I allowed not because you were weak, but because I knew what I placed in you could withstand it. I knew the weight you could carry. I knew how much it would hurt. But I also knew what it would build. It built wisdom, it built discernment, it built compassion, it built a depth that can't be faked. And now I'm redeeming every moment, not by erasing it, but by using it. What broke you in one season is about to become the very area where you help others heal. What once brought you shame is going to carry glory. What was once your silent struggle will become your public testimony, not as a trophy of pain, but as a revelation of my faithfulness. The beauty of my redemptive nature is that I never waste anything. I will even use what the enemy sent to destroy you. I will use what was unfair. I will use what didn't make sense. I will use what never got closure. I will use the people who left. I will use the things you lost, and I will weave it into a purpose that carries eternal weight. The enemy thought the pain would mute your voice. He thought it would make you numb, make you bitter, make you back down. But what he didn't anticipate is that you would come through it refined, that you would come out of it more aware, more awake, more dependent on me than ever. So now, I want you to stop being afraid of the pain. Stop pretending it didn't affect you. Bring it to me. All of it. The anger, the grief, the confusion, the memories that still make your chest tighten. I'm not just your God when you're healed. I'm your God when you're broken. I do not flinch at your emotion. I'm not offended by your process. I want your truth. I want you to stop filtering your prayers through politeness and instead pour out your heart like you've always needed to. I can handle the raw. I can handle the unedited version of your story. And in that place, I will meet you. Because what I'm doing next isn't just about building your future. It's about healing your past. You will not walk into what's next, dragging chains from what hurt you. You will walk in freedom. Not because you forgot, but because you let me touch the places that once defined your pain. I am healing the interpretation, not just the memory. I am changing how you remember the pain, not by erasing it, but by reframing it with truth. I will teach you how to remember the fire and only feel the refining. You're not weak because you've been through pain. You're powerful because you've survived it. And now the same pain that once nearly silenced you is becoming the place from which your voice will carry the most authority. You're no longer defined by what happened to you. You're now marked by what I'm doing through you. The pain wasn't your end, it was my doorway. And now that you've walked through it, I'm giving you beauty for ashes, strength for sorrow, purpose for loss. This is where the real healing begins. Now that the pain has been acknowledged and the healing has begun, not just on the surface, but in the deeper places you once thought were unreachable, it's time to talk about what's coming. Not as a distant hope or a vague reassurance, but as the unfolding of everything I've been building behind the scenes while you were being refined in the silence. You see, while you were waiting, while you were worshiping with questions in your heart, while you kept showing up, even when you felt unseen, I was moving. Heaven wasn't still, it was active. And now that activity is about to cross over into visibility. You're not just entering a new season, you're stepping into a divine unveiling, a convergence, a manifestation of what I spoke long ago but refused to release until now. My promises are not like human promises. They don't expire. They don't fade with time. What I told you years ago, when you were younger, more uncertain but full of hope, is still alive. And I am faithful not only to preserve you, but to fulfill every word I spoke over your life. Some of those promises felt delayed. Some seemed like they dissolved with time. Some you stopped praying for out of self-protection because it hurt too much to hope. But I have held them in my hand, nurturing them, shielding them, maturing them until the time was right. And that time is now. You will begin to see signs, not random encouragements, but strategic confirmations. I will speak to you through repeated impressions, through unexpected conversations, through open doors you didn't knock on, and through situations that align so precisely that you'll know only I could have orchestrated them. You'll begin to notice a pattern. Pieces falling into place, people remembering you at the right moment, opportunities appearing without force. These signs aren't coincidences. They are heaven's way of saying, I haven't forgotten. I'm fulfilling now. I've already begun to shift things in the spiritual realm. What was once locked is now unlocking. What was stagnant is now moving. And it won't always look like the breakthrough you imagined. It will often come disguised in responsibility, in small beginnings, in quiet moments of favor that grow over time. Don't dismiss the small. Don't wait for the spectacular to believe that I've started something sacred. The signs I give are meant to lead you into obedience, not into spectacle. As you respond to them, I will reveal more. As you move, the map will unfold. Some of the signs will come through disruption. Not all movement feels comfortable. Some of what I remove will sting at first. Relationships may shift. Plans may fall through. What you assumed would be permanent might suddenly change. Don't resist it. I am protecting what I've prepared. I am making room. I am cutting away what would dilute your assignment. You prayed for alignment, and this is what it looks like. Let go quickly. Trust deeply. Move with me. And yes, there will be people divinely assigned, spiritually aligned, people who carry what you need and need what you carry. They won't be impressed by your gift. They will honor your process. They will see you beyond what others have labeled you. Watch how I bring them. Watch how easily the conversation flows, how naturally the connection forms. You won't have to chase it. You'll just need to recognize it. And when it comes, honor it. These are not just new friendships. These are kingdom relationships, designed to help you carry the weight of the promise I'm now releasing. Provision will follow the promise, not as a reward, but as a tool. I'm going to provide what you need to build what I've shown you. The resources, the support, the clarity. They will come. Stop bracing for lack. Stop expecting the delay to repeat. I am not bringing you into a new season to abandon you in it. I am your provider, and I am moving things now to meet you on the path of obedience. The moment you step forward in faith, you'll begin to see what I've been aligning. Don't wait until it's all laid out. Step. I will meet you there. Let me also be clear. What's coming will require more of you. Not more effort, but more surrender, more trust, more faith. The promise will stretch you. It will pull you into rooms you once thought were too big for you. It will ask you to speak when you once stayed silent. It will call you to stand when you used to sit back, but you won't be standing alone. I'll be with you in every moment. I've already gone ahead of you, and my favor will surround you like a shield. You don't have to earn it, you just have to walk in it. This is not just about dreams being fulfilled. This is about purpose being revealed. What I'm releasing is not to boost your image, it's to extend my kingdom. You're not being raised up to impress. You're being positioned to release. You will carry peace into chaos, clarity into confusion, love into places that have only known conditional acceptance. You will move with authority, not because you demanded it, but because you were faithful with the silence. And now heaven is releasing the sound of fulfillment. They thought you were done. They thought your silence meant surrender. But I was writing, I was building, I was preparing, and now I'm fulfilling. Watch closely. The signs have started. And what they point to is greater than you imagined. This is the beginning of manifestation. Now that the signs have begun to appear and the promises are starting to manifest, you must understand this truth. Your part in this season is not to control what unfolds. It is to stay in alignment with me. The breakthrough I'm releasing isn't something you will manufacture with your effort. It will emerge as you walk in obedience, intimacy, and daily agreement with my voice. You've been prepared not just to receive something great, but to carry it with weight and longevity. And for that to happen, you must now choose to build a life of faith that is both intentional and sustained. Faith is not a fleeting feeling, it is not a temporary surge of confidence. It is not rooted in emotional highs or circumstantial momentum. Faith is a discipline, a lifestyle, a posture. It is the deliberate decision every single day to live like what I said is already true, even when nothing around you has fully caught up. That's the kind of faith that pleases me. Not the kind that waits to see results before it believes, but the kind that speaks in the dark, walks in uncertainty, and obeys without a full map. So, here is where I want you to begin. Reorder your days around my presence. Make space in the beginning of your day to sit with me before anything else. I'm not asking you for hours. I'm asking for attention. 5, 10, 15 minutes of real focus can change the entire rhythm of your spirit. Open your day by reminding your soul that I am in control. Invite me into your thoughts, your schedule, your priorities. This is not religion. This is alignment. The first voice you listen to in the morning will shape the rest of your day. Let it be mine. Speak to me plainly. Don't complicate prayer. It's not about sounding holy. It's about being honest. Talk to me as you are. Come with gratitude. Come with confusion. Come with your scattered thoughts. If that's all you have, just come. What I want is your presence, your heart, your sincerity. And in return, I will give you clarity, peace, and wisdom. I will remind you who you are. And I will tell you what is truly important in the moments where you feel overwhelmed. I also want you to start responding more quickly to the prompting of my spirit. You've learned to hear me. Now it's time to move with me. When I nudge you to reach out to someone, do it. When I ask you to start something, even if it's small, begin. Don't wait until it feels perfect. Obedience rarely comes with full visibility. It comes with just enough light for the next step. And as you step, I will meet you. That's the rhythm of faith. That's where the miracles begin to unfold. You also need to begin guarding your atmosphere. I'm calling you into a new level of clarity, which means you must be aware of what is shaping your perspective. What are you allowing in? What are you feeding your mind? What voices are speaking into your heart? You can't walk in faith while living in constant noise and distraction. Begin filtering everything through this simple question. Does this bring me closer to what God is saying, or does it make me doubt? If it's not feeding your spirit, it's draining it. And in this season, your focus is too valuable to be wasted. Open my word again with expectation, not as a box to check, but as a conversation. Let the scriptures speak directly to your season. Don't rush. Slow down. Linger on a verse until something stirs. Ask me what I'm trying to say. I will meet you in the pages. I will illuminate truth. I will give you direction. And as my word becomes alive in you, it will become your compass. It will quiet the lies. It will confront the doubt. It will remind you that you're not just walking into something new. You're walking with someone faithful. I also want you to stop doubting what I've placed in you. The hesitation you've carried must be replaced by humility and boldness. You don't need to feel worthy to be obedient. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. My spirit is enough. My calling is enough. My presence is enough. And I will not ask of you what I have not already prepared you to carry. So stop delaying your obedience under the disguise of wisdom when really it's fear. You know what I've said. Now do it. Start small. Stay faithful. Watch me move. This is the season to build, to speak, to move. Not in panic, but in peace. Not for validation, but from identity. You are no longer proving yourself. You are partnering with me. And that partnership will bear fruit. Not someday, but now. I will give you strategies. I will release ideas. I will draw the right people. I will provide what's needed. But you must take the first step. Not all of it, just the next step. And as you move, momentum will come. Stay rooted in community. I've placed people around you for a reason. Don't isolate. Don't carry everything alone. Share your process. Ask for prayer. Offer encouragement. Be present. You're not just building your life. You're building legacy. And legacy is built in connection. There is power in spiritual family. Make room for it. And don't forget to rest. Rest is not inactivity, it is a weapon. It is the proof that you trust me enough to stop striving, make room for stillness, step away from pressure, refuse to let your worth be measured by productivity. You're not a machine, you're my child, and I refresh those who rest in me. So this is your instruction. Reorder your rhythm, walk in daily surrender. Keep your spirit clean, move when I lead, and live like everything I've said is already unfolding, because it is. You are no longer preparing for promise. You are walking inside of it, and faith is how you will carry it all the way through. Now that your feet are moving in the direction of faith, now that you're beginning to respond to my voice with fresh boldness, I want to speak again to your identity, not just as affirmation, but as restoration, because there are still parts of your heart that hesitate. Not because you lack desire, but because for so long you were conditioned to believe that your value was determined by how others treated you. And even though I've begun to unfold the promises, even though the signs are aligning, you still carry traces of an old narrative. That's what I want to uproot completely now. You've been faithful through silence, but you haven't always been confident in who you are. You've endured rejection, and while you didn't walk away, you did start to believe, even just a little, that maybe something about you disqualified you, that maybe you were too emotional, too intense, too different, that maybe the reason you were left out, passed over, or misunderstood was because of something flawed in your design. But let me speak to that lie with finality. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not defective. You are not too much. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are exactly who I created, called, and equipped for this moment. And now I'm not just calling you forward. I'm calling you into alignment with your real self. What people rejected, I anointed. What they called unnecessary, I crafted with care. What they failed to recognize, I chose to preserve. I have never required your perfection, but I have always known your potential. You've tried to prove your worth by shrinking yourself to be more acceptable, and you've tried to protect yourself by over-explaining and over-giving. But I didn't form you to blend in. I formed you to carry something others wouldn't understand until the right season, and that season is now. You're not here by accident. You're not here because you survived something. You're here because I intended for you to live, to rise, to carry my voice, to walk with authority, and not man-made authority, but authority born in surrender, in obedience, in fire. You carry something holy. You are not just marked by my hand. You are known by my heart. I didn't save you to silence you. I saved you to send you. Let me restore how you see yourself. Let me clean the lens that shame has clouded. I'm not just asking you to say, I'm chosen. I'm asking you to live like it. I'm asking you to walk like someone who knows they are loved, not tolerated. Like someone who isn't afraid to take up space. Like someone who knows they don't have to compete to be used by me. You are not second to anyone. You are not a backup plan. You are my idea. You are my design. And I make nothing carelessly. I want you to stop apologizing for your presence. I want you to stop editing your personality to make others more comfortable. I want you to stop trying to fit into rooms I never called you to enter. I didn't create you to conform. I created you to transform. You don't need to meet everyone's expectations. You need to meet me in the secret place and let me tell you who you are again and again, until it becomes louder than every voice that tried to name you according to your pain. You are not the abandoned one. You are not the one who always gets left out. You are not the one who misses it. You are not too late. You are on time. You are right on schedule. You are moving in sync with the rhythm I set, not the clock others placed on you. And when you live from that truth, you stop striving, you stop comparing, you stop chasing what was never yours, and start walking in peace with what I've already placed in your hands. I want to restore your boldness, not the kind that masks fear, but the kind that flows from love. Because you know me, and you know that I don't abandon what I start. You know that I don't ask for obedience and then leave you to fend for yourself. You know that when I send you, I go with you. I'm not just your God. I'm your Father, and I am proud of you. Yes, proud. Not because you got everything right, but because you kept coming back to me, even when you didn't. So now, let your movements reflect that you are healed. Let your words reflect that you are whole. Let your decisions reflect that you are no longer operating from lack or fear or insecurity. Let them see the shift, not because you announced it, but because you embodied it. Let the way you carry yourself speak louder than any explanation. You are no longer the person who is overlooked. You are the one I am bringing forward with purpose. Everything about you is intentional. Your voice, your heart, your vision, your pace. I shaped it all. You are not on your way to being used. You are being used now. You are not eventually going to make an impact. You already are. Every time you show up with truth. Every time you remain when others run. Every time you speak when silence is easier. That's power. That's identity. That's what I placed in you, and I am restoring it fully now. They thought you were finished, but I knew this was just the beginning. Let me show you what happens when someone walks not in reaction to rejection, but in full agreement with redemption. Watch what shifts when you stop explaining your process and start embodying your purpose. This is the restoration of your identity. And now you will never see yourself the same. Now that you're walking in restored identity and your inner world has begun to align with my truth, it's time to anchor your transformation in spiritual discipline. Because identity that is not sustained by intimacy will start to rely on performance again. I didn't restore you just for a moment of inspiration. I restored you for a life of revelation, and that requires structure, not to limit you, but to stabilize you. If you're going to carry what I'm about to release, if you're going to walk with weight and clarity in this next chapter, you'll need more than passion. You'll need rhythm, a sacred rhythm, a lifestyle built around my presence. Let's begin with prayer. And not the kind that waits for crisis, but the kind that becomes your oxygen. I want you to make prayer the first and final word of your day, not as a performance, not as an obligation, but as a relationship. I want you to speak to me with raw honesty, not rehearsed phrases. Come to me in the quiet of the morning, before the noise of the day has the chance to shape your mood. Come to me in the evening, when your mind is full and your soul needs release. Talk to me about what excites you, what confuses you, what frustrates you. Invite me into the spaces you usually manage alone. I am not looking for spiritual perfection. I am seeking proximity. The more you come to me, the more you will learn to hear me. And the more you hear me, the more you will know what to do. You've been asking for wisdom. You've wanted answers. You've prayed for clarity. I'm not withholding anything from you, but I won't shout over the noise. I'm waiting for you to get quiet enough to recognize that I've been speaking all along. The more consistent you are in prayer, the clearer my voice becomes. And as my voice grows clear, your decisions grow sharper. Your confidence grows deeper. Your pace becomes steadier. That's how my presence works. It doesn't just make you feel something, it forms you. Now, let's talk about your attitude, how you carry yourself in everyday moments. Your spiritual posture matters, not just in church or in moments of worship, but in traffic, in conversations, in tension, in boredom. You've asked me to elevate your life. But elevation is not just about opportunity. It's about internal atmosphere. Start each day by choosing gratitude before anything else. When you wake up, before you scroll, before you move, thank me. Even if you don't feel it yet, gratitude is not emotional, it's prophetic. When you thank me in advance, you align your heart with what's already been spoken over your life. Then choose peace intentionally. There will be days when pressure creeps in, when distractions try to stir you, when anxiety tries to plant itself again. But I've given you authority. You don't have to live reactive. You get to respond with faith. Speak peace over your day. Speak truth into your moments. Let my word anchor your reactions. Don't wait for your emotions to catch up to your convictions. Lead your spirit, train your soul. You are not ruled by fear anymore. You are not under the pressure to perform. You are free. So walk like it. And now, my word, your foundation. Come back to it like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't just read to finish chapters. Read to hear my voice. Read slowly. Let verses linger. Ask me what I want to highlight. I'm not just in the famous passages. I'm in the lines you usually skip. There's revelation waiting for you in every page. Open your Bible with expectation. Sit with it daily, even if it's 10 minutes. Let it shape the way you think. Let it confront what needs to be confronted. Let it heal what you've ignored. My word doesn't just inform, it transforms. If you don't know where to start, return to the Psalms. There you'll find honesty. Return to the Gospels. See how my son moved, spoke, loved. Return to Proverbs. Gain wisdom for your daily decisions. Return to the letters. Let them train you for maturity. But don't just skim the words. Let them get in your bones. Let them get in your decisions. Memorize verses. Speak them aloud. Declare them when you wake, when you walk, when you're under pressure. My word is your sword. Use it. Be intentional about what surrounds you. Guard your environment. Pay attention to what you consume. Not just what you watch, but what you meditate on. What voices you let speak into your day. What energy you let shape your home. I want you to carry peace, but first you must cultivate it. Simplify where necessary. Turn down the volume of noise and hype. Make space for me in your routine. And don't confuse stillness with laziness. Stillness is strength. Stillness is where clarity is born. If your life is too full to hear me, it's too full. I'm not in a rush. I'm in the rhythm. Finally, rest. Sabbath is not an outdated concept. It's my design for your soul. Set aside time each week to unplug from performance and reconnect with presence. You weren't created to run non-stop. You were created to return to me regularly. Take a walk, breathe, read, reflect, sit and worship without a goal. Let me restore your joy. Let me renew your mind. Let me refresh what the world tries to wear down. Rest is not weakness. It is warfare. It is the way you declare, God, you are in control and I trust you. This is how you walk forward now. Not just emotionally stirred, but spiritually anchored, a person of presence, a person of peace, a person of prayer, a person of the Word. You are not trying to maintain a moment. You are building a life that reflects who you are, what I've said, and how you now live, not as one forgotten, but as one divinely chosen. Now listen closely, because what I'm about to say is not just confirmation of where you've been. It's a prophetic announcement of where you're going. This is not a vague encouragement or a general promise. This is my word over your life right now, and it carries weight, timing, and urgency. The shift that has been happening within you is about to manifest around you. The atmosphere in your life has already changed, and though you may not see it fully yet, the signs are already in motion. What I am about to release will not only validate what I whispered in secret, it will bring visible, tangible evidence that I never stopped writing your story. You're not entering a season of subtle shifts. You're stepping into a divine unveiling, a strategic moment that I have prepared for years. Things are going to happen quickly. Doors will open that were previously locked. Relationships will align without force. Conversations will spark momentum you didn't expect. Resources will arrive at exactly the moment you need them, and it will seem sudden to others, but not to you, because you will know this is not a coincidence. It is a culmination. I am bringing you into the beginning of fulfillment, not just partial answers, but full circle moments. You will see why I made you wait. You will understand the no's, the delays, the detours. You will look back on seasons that made no sense and realize they were perfectly designed to shape your capacity. You were not ready before, not because you were incapable, but because what I am giving you now requires spiritual maturity, emotional steadiness, and discernment that can only be formed in the quiet. You have those now. You've been faithful with the weight of silence, and now I will trust you with the weight of visibility. You're going to feel the shift in layers. First, in your spirit, you'll feel a new boldness that isn't pride, but certainty. You'll stop questioning whether you heard me correctly. You'll stop apologizing for your anointing. You'll stop waiting for permission to move in what I already confirmed. The fog is lifting, clarity is coming, and your confidence will not come from results, it will come from knowing you're aligned with me. Next, you'll feel it in your relationships. I'm bringing divine alignments, people who don't need an explanation, people who will recognize the oil, honor your process, and help you carry what's next. And I'm also removing some voices. Some will distance themselves as your clarity increases. Don't chase them. Don't try to explain what I've already settled. You are not for everyone. but I'm placing you with the ones who carry the same sound. Then you'll see the shift in your assignments. There will be things I ask you to start that feel unfamiliar. Don't resist them. You prayed for new territory. This is it. Don't measure the new by the comfort of the old. I'm calling you into unexplored ground. There will also be doors that reopen, not because you return to them, but because they return to you. Opportunities you thought were gone will reappear, but now you'll engage from a healed, whole, and ready place. I am placing favor on your name, not because you campaigned for it, but because you stayed faithful. And that favor will begin to precede you. You'll be invited into spaces you didn't have access to before, not because of who you know, but because of who you've become. Don't diminish it. Don't shrink. Don't downplay my work. This is not your moment to hide. This is your moment to rise, not in arrogance, but in the awareness that I've done this. You are also going to feel a difference in the spiritual weight you carry. You will speak and atmospheres will shift. You will pray and things will move. You will walk into rooms and bring clarity, not confusion. Your presence will carry peace. That's not a gift you earned. It's the oil of endurance and obedience, and it is now activated. Use it with care. Steward it with humility. But don't be afraid of it. You were born to carry this. Financial provision is coming too. Not as a random blessing, but as resourced purpose. I will fund the vision I placed in you. I will send what you need. I will provide through channels you didn't expect. Don't worry about how. Focus on the yes. Your obedience is the trigger. Your surrender is the open door. What you release in trust will multiply. Don't hoard in fear. Sow in faith. You're not being blessed for luxury, you're being resourced for impact. I'm also calling you to raise your expectations. No more bracing for disappointment. No more low-level hope. You've seen me as sustainer. Now I want to show you what it looks like when I accelerate. Expect good things. Expect alignment. Expect momentum. Don't call it pride to believe big. I put those dreams in you. I wired you for them. And now I'm backing them with heaven's timing. And yes, there will still be resistance. Every new level draws new attention. But you won't be shaken by it. Because I'm not just elevating your visibility, I'm reinforcing your spiritual authority. You will not walk in fear. You will not second guess your place. I will give you the discernment to know what's real, the grace to respond with wisdom, and the peace to stay rooted in me. This is the beginning of evidence. What you carried in private, what you prayed through in pain, what you stewarded in secret, I'm about to make it visible. You won't need to explain the shift, just walk in it. Let your obedience testify. Let your presence carry the weight. Let your life preach what I've done. They thought you were done, but I was just getting started. And now, so are you. Now that I've spoken to what's unfolding around you, let me bring you back to what matters most. What I am doing within you. Because the increase that's coming, the favor that's finding you, the doors that are opening, they are not the goal. They are the overflow. What I want above all is communion, not occasional connection, not seasonal intimacy, but a continuous, daily, uninterrupted walk with my Spirit. You are not called to rise in visibility without first going deeper in surrender. What you're about to carry can only be sustained by the indwelling presence of my Spirit, working not just through you, but within you at the deepest levels of who you are. My Spirit has never been distant. He hasn't just waited for you at moments of desperation. He's been whispering through the quiet, guiding in the tension, interceding when you had no words. You've mistaken his silence for absence at times, but he was always working, strengthening your inner resolve, softening your heart where hardness tried to settle in, giving you peace when you didn't even understand why you weren't panicking. Now I'm asking you to take it further. No more just surviving with the Spirit. No more just encountering me in moments of worship. I want to make my presence your daily rhythm. I want your relationship with me to be the first environment you wake up in, the last thought you sleep in, the consistent flow that carries you throughout your day, not just as a backup, but as the source. You've been asking for clarity. It will come through stillness. You've been asking for strength. It will come through abiding. You've been praying for strategy. It will be released through intimacy. I am not hiding your next step. I am simply waiting for you to stop moving so fast that you miss the whisper. I will not shout over your distractions. I am too present for noise. I move in the pause. I speak in the space you make. And when you give me that space consistently, my Spirit will begin to transform not just your feelings, but your foundation. This is where real transformation begins. Not by trying harder, but by yielding deeper. You cannot earn the change I want to bring. You must surrender to it. My Spirit is not a guest in your life. He is a resident, and he wants access to the places you've kept guarded, the thoughts you try to manage on your own, the cycles you've learned to live with, the emotional patterns you've justified as normal. My Spirit goes beyond comfort. He goes into reconstruction. He tears down lies you didn't know you were living from. He pulls out roots that look like personality, but were actually planted in trauma. And he does it with care, not condemnation. There are parts of your identity that have been shaped by pain, not design. You've lived under internal narratives that sound like, I'm always too late. I'm never enough. I always get overlooked. I'm not as strong as I need to be. But these are not your thoughts. They are distortions, and my Spirit is going to rewrite them, not all at once, but layer by layer. As you abide, as you wait, as you welcome me deeper, I will bring truth where there's been confusion, and you'll begin to notice the shift. The same situations won't trigger the same reactions. The old cycles will lose their power. You won't have to force peace. It will begin to flow from within. Because you will no longer be surviving your story, you'll be living from my Spirit. There will be days where I call you away, not to isolate, but to refine. You won't always be understood. You may feel like you're being pulled away from certain environments, voices, even rhythms that once felt familiar. That's because I'm protecting your transformation. I'm removing what distracts. I'm drawing you into a level of sensitivity that many don't choose. You've asked me to use you in unusual ways. That begins with unusual surrender. The deeper you go, the clearer I'll become. You won't have to chase me. You'll walk with me. My voice will become your compass. My presence will become your atmosphere. The gifts I placed in you are going to increase, but not so you can perform, so you can discern, so you can carry weight, so you can pray with precision, speak with accuracy, love with conviction, and lead with humility. The Spirit isn't just going to make you feel powerful. He's going to make you whole. He's going to show you the difference between ministry and movement, between busyness and fruit, between ambition and anointing. He's going to make your life a place I dwell, not just visit. This level of inner transformation will make you unshakable, not immune to pain, but anchored in peace. You will still face pressure, you will still encounter spiritual resistance, but it won't undo you, because your strength will not be in your willpower. It will be in your oneness with me. And people will notice, not because you're louder, but because you're different. They'll sense me in your words, in your decisions, in your presence, and without even trying, you'll begin to shift atmospheres. You will also begin to dream differently, not just while sleeping, but while still. I will drop impressions into your heart, instructions into your mind. You will start sensing what I'm doing before you see it happen. That's discernment. That's intimacy. That's what happens when my Spirit has full access. I want to guide your business, your family, your creativity, your ministry. I want to lead it all. But I don't just want access when it's hard. I want the first voice in your rest, in your planning, in your building. So here is what I ask of you. Come closer, not as someone trying to earn something, as someone who knows they belong. Return to that place where my presence is not your rescue, it's your rhythm. Sit with me, speak to me, sing in the quiet, walk in awareness. Let me change the way you process, decide, move, relate. Because when I dwell, I transform. When I fill, I sustain. When I speak, I align. And when you walk in step with me, nothing can stand against you. They thought you were done because they saw your surface, but I saw your surrender. And now, through my Spirit, I am building something from the inside out that no man, no voice, no opposition can tear down. You're not just stepping into the promise. You're becoming the person who can carry it. And that more than anything is the evidence of me in you. Now take a breath. Pause not to question but to absorb. This moment, this entire journey has not been for hype, inspiration, or emotional uplift. This has been a divine encounter, a holy interruption, a prophetic moment that has collided with your timeline by design. You didn't just read words. You met me here. I came for you, not for the version of you who has everything figured out, not for the one that's always strong, but for the real you, the one who is mislabeled, misunderstood, overlooked, dismissed, underestimated, the one who wondered more than once if maybe the world was right to move on. I came to tell that part of you they were wrong. They thought you were done because they saw stillness and misread it as surrender. They saw silence and called it disqualification. But I was never still. I was never silent. I was building. I was preparing. I was clearing space. I was shaping strength inside of you that no applause could create. And now that work is ready. Now you are ready. Not because everything makes sense, not because everything looks perfect, but because your roots are deep. Your identity is anchored. Your ears are tuned to my voice. You're not performing for worth, you're walking in it. You're not chasing opportunity, you're stewarding alignment. This is not the start of a rise, it's the evidence of a resurrection. What was quiet is now coming alive. What looked finished is being redefined. From this moment on, you will move differently. You'll respond differently. You'll decide differently. Because you're no longer proving yourself. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer tiptoeing around your call. You're walking in the reality of what I've already said. I've chosen you. I've preserved you. I've commissioned you. And now I'm releasing you. Let them see the change. Not because you shouted it, but because you lived it. Let your consistency speak. Let your clarity speak. Let your freedom speak. You don't need to fight for the room anymore. The room will recognize the oil. The ones I've assigned will come. The spaces I've prepared will open, and all of it, every conversation, every platform, every assignment, will confirm what I've been whispering all along. You were never done. I was just getting started. So go now. Not rushed, but released. Go without fear. Go without apology. Go knowing that I am with you in every step. I am in your breath, in your silence, in your words. You are not returning to who you had to be to survive. You are rising in who you were always meant to be. Amen. If this word touched you, if something in your spirit woke up as you read, don't let it pass quietly. Speak it back to me. Leave a comment not for others, but as your personal response to my voice. Let it be your yes, your agreement, your declaration that you've heard me and you're stepping into what I've prepared. I see your heart. I honor your response, and I will meet you in it. I'm redeeming time. I'm redeeming the places where your voice was shut down. I'm redeeming the seasons where you sowed with tears and saw nothing grow. But now, in one season, I will do what you thought would take many. I will gather what was scattered. I will multiply what was small. I will elevate what was hidden. And yes, it will be seen. This time publicly, I'm making your story a sign. Not because you asked for attention, but because you handled obscurity with honor. You worshiped me when the room was empty. You remained faithful when the door stayed shut. You didn't manipulate your way forward. You yielded. You trusted. And because of that, I'm trusting you with visibility now, not for performance, but for impact. You'll also begin to feel a new clarity in your spirit. You'll wake up with direction you didn't plan for. You'll sense assignments before they're spoken. You'll move in confidence, not hesitation, because this is not just external favor, it's internal fire. And what I've lit in you now will not be extinguished. It's not a passing moment. It's the result of every yes you gave when it cost you everything. The glory you carry is not hype. It's evidence. Get ready. People will ask you where the shift came from. They'll want to know what changed, and your answer will be simple. God elevated me in front of every doubt. Not because you earned it, but because you trusted me when you could have stopped. Because you stayed planted. Because you let me break the version of you that was built for approval and rebuild the one that's built for glory. This is not random. This is redemption. This is not a reward for perfection. This is a release for persistence. And from this day forward, you will carry the sound of heaven's favor, not just in what you say, but in what follows you. You will become the living proof that I remember those who remain faithful, that I vindicate those who carry the weight of calling, and that I always finish what I start. This is the moment, and you are walking in it. Now, my child, before you step fully into the visibility I am releasing, before you carry my glory into rooms you once only dreamed of, I want to draw you inward once more, not to pause your momentum, but to preserve it. Because what you carry must come from a place not of public pressure, but of personal presence. The world will see your elevation, but I will see your posture. And it is in your inner life, your inner stillness, your daily communion with me that you will be sustained. Not by performance, not by effort, but by my Spirit living in you. I have placed the Holy Spirit in you not as a distant counselor, but as an indwelling companion. He is not reserved for crisis moments. He is not limited to Sundays. He is the voice whispering truth when doubt returns, the fire that burns gently when passion fades, the peace that steadies you when pressure surrounds. He is not an accessory to your calling. He is the source of your authority. And I am inviting you into deeper awareness of Him, not just for function, but for friendship. Let me ask you gently, have you given Him full access again? Not just to the public things, but to the places that still ache. Have you let Him speak into your insecurity, into your ambition, into your pace? Because He is ready not to correct with shame, but to guide with clarity and compassion. He sees what you hide. He knows what you carry. And He's not afraid of your need. In fact, He's drawn to it, because transformation does not begin in your strength, it begins in your surrender. Let the Holy Spirit fill you again, not just emotionally, but completely. Let Him soften the places that hardened in survival. Let Him reignite the places that dulled in waiting. Let Him expose the thoughts that don't belong to the new version of you. You don't need to fight to stay on. You need to flow from fullness, and fullness only comes from abiding every day, every hour, sometimes every minute. Not because you're weak, but because you now carry too much to try to manage it alone. I'm calling you into a lifestyle of sensitivity, where you ask Him before you respond, where you pause when something feels off, where you move when He whispers, not just when circumstances push you. This kind of living doesn't slow you down, it safeguards your future. The more visible your life becomes, the more invisible your roots must grow, and the Holy Spirit is your root system. He will show you what to release, what to say yes to, when to say still, and when to run with fire. He will also remind you of what I've said when the crowd forgets, when fear tries to rise again. When the old voices come back to test your confidence, He will speak again. And you will recognize His voice because you've heard it in the secret place. That's why this transformation is lasting, because it doesn't come from hype, it comes from habitation. You don't need to chase anointing, you need to carry presence. And that presence is found in Him. Let Him into your rhythm. Invite Him into your ordinary, your errands, your meetings, your schedule, your stillness. He doesn't need ceremony, He needs space. And when you give Him space, He will fill it with such power, peace, and wisdom that people will notice something different. Not your performance, but your presence. They will feel something on you that words cannot explain. That is my Spirit resting on a life that is yielded. This is not just about feeling better. It's about becoming different. Let him deal with the pride that grew as a defense. Let him dissolve the fear that still lingers in certain decisions. Let him bring laughter back to the parts of you that forgot how to hope. This is how you carry glory without burnout. This is how you walk in elevation without losing your foundation. You become a resting place, not just a vessel, not just a voice, but a place where my spirit dwells, moves, and flows continually. And from that flow, others will be refreshed. Lives will be changed. Rooms will shift, not because of your gifting, but because of your closeness. So open your heart again. Invite him in again. Even if you feel strong, especially then. Even if you're busy, especially then. Even if the favor is flowing, especially then. This glory will not be sustained by gifting. It will be sustained by the breath of God moving through your daily life. That's what the Holy Spirit is for. That's who He is, and He is with you. Let this be the place where transformation becomes your normal, where presence becomes your atmosphere, where fullness becomes your fuel. You're not walking alone into this next chapter. You're walking filled, led, and deeply known, and everything about your elevation will be marked by one thing: I was with you. My spirit filled you. And that is why nothing and no one could stop you, my child. Now that you've walked with me through every layer of this word, through identity, healing, alignment, instruction, and transformation, let me say what I want you to carry above all. You are rising, and it is my doing. No man can take credit. No voice of criticism can block it. No voice of fear can undo it. No part of your past has the authority to override it. I am elevating you in front of every doubt. Not only the doubts of those who questioned you, but the doubts that tried to quietly survive inside of you. They no longer hold power here. My glory does. This elevation is not a reward for your perfection. It is a release from my promise. This is not a performance platform. It is a fulfillment altar. You're not just being lifted higher. You're being sent deeper. And everything I've poured into you in private is now going to flow out in public. The rooms you are entering are not intimidating because I've already marked you. You won't need to adjust to belong. You will simply become what I've prepared you to be fully, freely, without apology, without fear. You are not walking forward as a wounded survivor. You are walking forward as a trusted carrier of glory. You know the weight, you know the process, you know the price, and because of that, you will carry what others fumbled. You will protect what others neglected. You will nurture what others ignored. Because what you've been given isn't temporary, it's eternal. You are not stepping into a season. You are stepping into a mantle of presence, a mantle of maturity, a mantle of truth. There is no version of you going forward that is still dependent on validation. You are not here because of people. You are here because of me. I am the one who watched you stay quiet while others tried to explain your absence. I am the one who comforted you when the elevation of others made you question your timeline. I am the one who placed strength in your bones when your voice began to tremble. And now, I am the one who says, to the heavens, to the earth, and to every invisible doubt, rise, shine, go. Be building, release. The doubts will not define your next step. My direction will. The silence of the past will not dictate your confidence. My Spirit will. The waiting has not weakened your voice, it has prepared it. And every word you speak going forward will carry the weight of that preparation. You won't speak louder, you'll speak truer. You won't act bolder, you'll move from peace. You won't run to prove, you'll walk with presence. You are a fulfillment in motion, a promise unfolding, a vessel that has been broken open only to be filled with fire. You are not fragile anymore. You are formed. And I'm going to use your life to prove something to the watching world. That I still elevate the faithful. That I still honor the hidden. That I still pour glory on those who stayed surrendered when no one else clapped for them. You are not just a testimony, you are my evidence. So walk now, not with fear, but with fire. Move now, not with apology, but with authority. Build now, not to be seen, but to reveal me. This is your time, this is your moment, and this is your confirmation. Amen. And now, my child, if this word echoed your journey, declare it. Don't hold it in. Someone else is still standing where you stood. Share this with them. Be the confirmation they've been waiting for. If your heart knows this word is for you, mark it below. One word is enough. Elevated, seen, ready, sent. Let it be your agreement with heaven. Let it be your amen. Come back when you forget. Come back when the noise rises. Come back when you feel small again. Let these words remind you I was always watching, and now all of heaven will see what I saw all along. SM, elevating you in front of every doubt. Complete video script. My beloved, I have witnessed your complete journey. Not just the public portions that others observed, not just the moments of worship and celebration, but the concealed ones, the endless nights, the endless prayers, the quiet yes when no one else was watching. I've seen how you remained when others departed. I've observed how you kept your heart tender when pain tried to harden you. And now I speak to you, not only with comfort, but with clarity and fire. I'm elevating you in front of every doubt, not just the doubts of others, but the ones inside you, the ones that whispered after failure, the ones that lingered after rejection, the ones that grew louder in silence. I've seen how you fought to believe again when nothing changed. I've seen how you spoke life even when you didn't feel it. And I want you to know none of it was wasted. None of it went unseen. Every act of obedience, every moment of faithfulness, every tear cried in private, I've counted it all. And now the time has come for the elevation. I promised to meet you publicly. You didn't push your way here. You didn't manipulate doors open. You didn't chase platforms. You chased me. You followed my voice when it felt like the wilderness. You stayed hidden when the crowd would have been easier. And because of that, I can trust you now. You've been through fire, but the fire didn't burn you. It refined you. You've been misunderstood, but you didn't grow bitter. You let me shape your heart, and now I'm about to lift your life. Not to impress others, but to fulfill everything I wrote about you before they ever had an opinion. You've walked with integrity in seasons where no one applauded. You showed up when your soul was weary. You encouraged others when you were the one needing encouragement. You sowed into places you weren't sure you'd ever harvest from. You forgave when it hurt. You let go when it cost you. and I've held every one of those moments close. You never needed to prove your heart to people because I've always known it. And now I'm revealing what I've seen. This elevation is not about status. It's about my name being glorified through your story. It's not just about visibility, it's about validity. I'm validating what you've carried. I'm honoring what you've endured. I'm releasing you into spaces that once felt out of reach. Not because you demanded them, but because you're aligned with me. And when you walk into them, it will be clear. This is the Lord's doing. Those who questioned your worth will see my hand. Those who misunderstood your silence will hear your voice, not out of vengeance, but out of vindication. You didn't fight to be heard. You waited for my timing. And now that the moment is here, I'm making it unmistakable. The doors will not creak, they will swing. The opportunities will not need to be explained, they will carry evidence. The fruit of your hidden years will be impossible to ignore. And you don't have to shrink to enter what I'm releasing. You don't have to apologize for becoming what I've been building. You don't have to worry about being too much for those who can't see the weight of your journey. Let me speak it plainly. You are the one I'm elevating. You are the one I've preserved. You are the one I'm setting apart. And this is the season where everything that was once questioned will be confirmed with glory. This is not about proving them wrong. It's about proving me right. I chose you. I called you. I've been shaping you in shadows. And now the light is about to reveal what only I could form. Don't be afraid of it. Don't run from it. Don't second guess what you've already been prepared for. You're not walking into this because you performed well. You're walking into this because you stayed faithful when it was hard. So stand up tall. Let your shoulders drop. Let the shame fall off. Let the fear melt in my presence. You don't need to brace anymore. You need to breathe, because this isn't a trickle of favor. This is my hand, my timing and my glory, resting on what the world thought was delayed. But I've always known you were right on schedule. And now, my child, it begins. My child, now that I've declared what I'm doing openly, now that I've told you this is the hour of elevation, I need you to let go of one more thing. The way you see yourself. Because if you don't allow me to rewrite the script you've carried about your identity, you will try to carry my glory with the weight of past opinions still resting on your shoulders. You will step into rooms with divine doors, but still question whether you belong there. And I'm not elevating you to prove a point. I'm elevating you to walk in purpose. That means you must come into agreement with how I see you, not how they saw you, not how pain shaped you, and not how doubt has tried to define you. You've walked through seasons where your value felt tied to your performance, where your worth felt tangled in the responses of others, and somewhere along the way, you started believing that what was delayed was somehow your fault. That maybe if you were better, more prepared, more spiritual, more impressive, things would have happened sooner. But I want to speak to that place right now. You did not delay your destiny. I was protecting it. I never gave you less because you were less. I was building strength, wisdom, and weight in your spirit so that when elevation came, it wouldn't crush you, it would confirm you. I know the voice of comparison has been loud. I know it told you that you're behind, that you missed something, that everyone else has passed you by. But I have not passed you by. I've walked beside you. I've marked your path with my timing. I've hidden you on purpose, not because you weren't ready to be seen, but because the people meant to recognize your anointing weren't ready to see you. But now the timing has shifted, and I'm no longer just whispering destiny to your spirit. I'm echoing it through every space you enter. You won't need to prove yourself. The fruit will speak, and the fruit is you. You're not weak because you doubted. You're not less because you cried. You're not unworthy because you've wrestled with your identity. I've seen every part of the battle, and I never left. Even when you questioned me, I stayed close. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was holding you. Even when you said, "God, I can't do this anymore," I was answering good because now I will. You didn't lose me when you were tired. You found me in your true form, not the performer, but the child, and that's who I'm raising up. Let me remind you of what I've always thought about you. You are mine. You are not a backup plan. You are not an afterthought. You are not forgotten in a crowd of more gifted, more confident people. You are not just the faithful one in the background. You are my delight. You are strong. You are steady. You are ready. Not because you've mastered the process, but because you've let me master you. You've been willing to be shaped, not seen. You've been available even when you didn't feel valuable, and that's what I reward. I'm elevating you not because of performance, but because of posture. Because you knelt when you could have promoted yourself. Because you surrendered instead of striving. Because you forgave when no one else apologized. Because you kept your spirit clean when bitterness tried to build a home in you. And now I'm elevating you not just in visibility, but in authority. You won't just be seen, you'll be sent. But first, I need you to stop doubting the purity of your own heart. Yes, you've struggled, but you've also said yes to me over and over when it wasn't easy. That matters. It moved me. And if you could see what I've built in you in the dark, you'd never question your place in the light. Your heart is not a disqualified heart. It is a prepared one. And the spaces I'm opening are safe for you now, because your identity isn't hanging on the outcome. It's anchored in me. So come back to the center. Come back to my voice. Let me show you the difference between who you've pretended to be and who I've really created. You're not too quiet. You're not too intense. You're not too soft. You're not too anything. You're exactly what is needed for this assignment. Come as you are. Come unfiltered. Come without explanation. Come knowing that my glory isn't a reward for the perfect. It's the resting place for the willing. This is the gentle call, not to rise by proving, but to rise by agreeing with my word, with my heart, with your original design. I've not only called you, I'm now confirming you. And soon, everyone who ever questioned your worth will see my glory on your life and realize you were always the one I was raising. My beloved, now that I've reminded you of who you truly are and drawn you out of the shadows of comparison and self-doubt, I want to speak to the pain that has shaped so much of your journey. Not to revisit it for sorrow's sake, but so I can help you see it through my eyes. Because what you've walked through hasn't only left bruises, it has carved deep places of wisdom, sensitivity, and authority. I do not ignore pain, I redeem it, and the pain you've carried, both visible and hidden, is not an obstacle to your calling. It is part of the foundation I've built underneath it. I know you've wondered in the quiet moments, why did it have to hurt this long? Why was the silence so loud? Why did it feel like you were always walking uphill while others seemed to soar? You didn't want to compare, but you couldn't stop the ache. And sometimes you didn't even need words. Just the overwhelming sense that the road you were on cost more than you ever expected. I know. I saw every step. And while the world measured your life by surface-level moments, I was counting the weight of your process. Every day you kept moving. Every day you chose to stay with me when walking away might have seemed easier. Every time you served with a cracked heart, I didn't miss a single one. The pain wasn't proof that something was wrong with you. It was proof that something deep was happening inside of you. You were being stretched to hold what's holy. Not because I enjoy watching you suffer, but because the kind of glory I'm placing on your life must rest on a heart that's been humbled and healed. You can't carry this with shallow roots. That's why I took you deep. That's why it felt like everything had to slow down, because I wasn't just moving you forward, I was moving you inward. There were moments I could have ended the process sooner. I know that there were days you cried out for me to make it stop, and I heard every cry. But I knew that if I delivered you too quickly, you would have stepped into the future with a wounded lens. You would have built with broken motives. You would have carried fear in places meant to hold freedom. So I waited. Not because you weren't ready, but because I was making sure you would stay ready when I opened the doors. Pain is a revealer. It doesn't always explain itself right away, but it tells you what your soul leans on. And through the hardest parts of your journey, you discovered that you weren't leaning on status, outcomes, or applause. You were leaning on me. Not perfectly, not painlessly, but purely. And now, because of that, I can elevate you in front of every doubt. Not to erase the past, but to redeem it. The people who watched you break didn't see me holding you. The ones who judged your delay didn't understand what I was refining. But I did. I never saw you as weak. I saw you as willing. I never saw you as unstable. I saw you as someone I could shape, someone who stayed close, even while trembling. I was never disappointed in your emotions. I was delighted in your endurance. And now your pain has become the very oil I'm using to mark your next assignment. Let me speak to the part of you that still carries shame. You did not fail. The battle was not your fault. The rejection wasn't a reflection of your worth. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was me pulling you into the deeper place. The valley didn't prove you were lost. It proved that your faith had roots, and those roots are now producing a strength that can't be faked, a strength that will carry you in rooms you once felt unqualified to enter. You are not your trauma. You are not your delay. You are not the one who was passed over. You are not the one who got it wrong. You are mine. And I used the pain not to punish you, but to prepare you. Now you know the cost. Now you've seen the inside of the furnace. Now you've discovered that even in the darkest places, my presence never left, and that awareness has become your authority. I am not giving you back what you lost. I'm giving you back what pain tried to steal. But this time it will come with power. You're not returning to where you were. You're rising into what you were always meant to carry. Your heart is soft. Your vision is clear. And your story will now carry not only the memory of battle, but the weight of glory. Now, my child, after all I've healed and all I've restored, I want to show you what is about to come into view. Because the elevation I'm bringing is not a metaphor. It is movement. It is momentum. It is the tangible fulfillment of what I whispered when no one else was listening. I am not just restoring your heart. I am releasing your life into visibility. This is the hour I begin to reveal what I've built inside of you through every hidden season, every painful silence, every quiet act of obedience. I am not elevating you to prove your worth. I am elevating you to demonstrate my faithfulness. You've asked me, will I know when it begins? And I say, you'll know, not by external fireworks, but by internal alignment. It won't feel like hype. It will feel like peace. The doors I open won't demand that you perform. They will welcome what you've already become. What I'm doing won't rush you. It will recognize you. You won't have to force your way in. You'll simply feel the wind behind you as I bring you into rooms that are ready for the real you, the healed you, the anointed you, the called and confirmed you. Look for the signs. They are already unfolding. A conversation that suddenly shifts. A door you gave up on that begins to open again. People who once overlooked you beginning to ask questions they never asked before. A stirring in your spirit where you once felt numb. These are not coincidences. These are signals. Signals that the glory I promised is beginning to rest. Signals that the season of striving has ended. Signals that my hand is now publicly doing what I've privately spoken. The people who once saw your tears will now see your transformation. The ones who doubted your calling will see the clarity of my voice resting on you, not through performance, through presence. Your name will be mentioned in rooms you didn't enter. Your reputation will begin to reflect the purity of your process, and where there was once misunderstanding, there will now be honor. Not the honor that puffs up the ego, but the kind that comes from divine endorsement. I'm bringing full circle moments, conversations, places, even relationships that felt unresolved will return, not to reopen wounds, but to redeem what was left unfinished. And you will walk into those moments with confidence, not confusion, with grace, not guardedness, because you will know this is what the battle was preparing me for. The proof will not be in how loud you are. It will be in the fruit you carry. You will know it's me because the favor will rest without striving, and the doors will remain open without force. I'm releasing strategy, not vague ideas, but divine instruction. What once felt scattered will begin to connect. Pieces that felt irrelevant will now make sense. You'll see how everything I taught you in secret is now becoming the blueprint for building publicly. The whispers in worship, the dreams you thought were random, the journal entries you wrote years ago. I'm about to activate the archive of revelation in your life. What was hidden is about to be handed to you again, not as theory, but as tools. Provision will come, not just financially, but relationally, emotionally, creatively. I'm resourcing your assignment. You won't be building alone. I'm sending you what and who you need. There will be confirmation, not just from people, but from my presence resting on the next step. If there is peace, follow it. If there is pressure, pause. I lead by alignment, not anxiety. My elevation is not fragile, it is fortified with peace. Expect me to speak clearly in dreams, through scripture, through repeated confirmations. I am not hiding, I am highlighting. Your spirit will know. There will be no guessing in this. I am releasing a flow that feels like you are finally in sync with the timing of heaven. That feeling is not a fantasy, it is fulfillment. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're in perfect alignment with what I ordained long before the battle began. You will also notice a new level of authority on your words. People will begin to listen differently, not because you've changed your tone, but because your voice now carries weight. It carries evidence. It carries the oil of endurance. That is the kind of elevation I'm releasing, not platform without process, but power birthed through the pressing. And here is what I want you to remember most. This is not a one-time shift. This is the beginning of a new lifestyle. You will carry glory into everyday places, not just stages, not just pulpits. You will carry it into conversations, decisions, emails, meetings, ordinary days. This is elevation, yes, but it is also establishment. You're not being lifted temporarily. You're being rooted permanently. So watch the signs. Trust your spirit. Write what I say. Speak when I lead. Move when I breathe. And let the fruit confirm what you no longer need to question. I am elevating you. Not someday, not one day, but now. Now, my child. Now that I've revealed what I'm doing and have begun to elevate you in ways that you can no longer deny, I want to teach you how to walk in what I've released. Because what I've poured over your life is not just for a moment, it's for movement. It's not a temporary wave of favor, it's a sustained posture of faith. And this kind of elevation must be protected, not through fear, but through intentional devotion, awareness, and obedience. If the battle tried to break you, the blessing will try to distract you. But I am giving you wisdom to walk in balance, with your feet grounded in peace and your spirit lifted in purpose. The first instruction I give you is this: start your days anchored in my presence, not as a religious task, but as your most important meeting. Don't wait for the pressure to rise to seek me. Meet me early. Even if your time is short, give me the first of it. Come to me with no script. Just sit, listen, worship. Ask me what's on my heart. Let my voice shape your thoughts before anything else has the chance. The days you feel most overwhelmed are the ones you must protect this rhythm the most. That time with me is not a luxury. It's your lifeline. Open my word daily, not for information, but for impartation. Read it slowly, read it with expectation. Ask me to make it alive, to breathe on a single sentence that holds the instruction you didn't know you needed. I will speak through it. I will guide you through it. My word will train your discernment, so that you don't fall for every open door that looks good but lacks my breath. It will build your confidence in seasons that still require waiting. It will be the voice that grounds you when emotions try to lead. Keep a journal nearby. Write what I highlight. This will be your roadmap in the weeks to come. Guard your heart from overexposure. Elevation brings visibility, but not every invitation requires your yes. Not every spotlight carries safety. I will lead you in what to say yes to. I will also lead you in what to walk away from quietly, peacefully, without needing to justify. Learn to hear the no in my peace just as clearly as you hear the go in my prompting. What I'm doing through you now is not about pace. It's about precision. You don't need to move fast. You need to move right, and I will help you with that. Obedience must be your compass. When I speak, move. When I correct, respond. When I highlight something out of alignment, surrender it. Obedience doesn't have to feel big to carry weight. Sometimes it's in your tone, your schedule. A private decision no one else will ever see, but I see it. And each act of obedience becomes a foundation stone for the next level of elevation. You don't need to understand everything. You simply need to trust me with the next step. Keep your inner world pure. This season is not just about external evidence. It's about internal clarity. Bitterness, comparison, pride. These things can quietly enter even after victory, but you must return to the secret place to stay clean. Don't wait until conflict arises. Keep your spirit clear by bringing your thoughts to me daily. Ask me to check your motives. Let me cleanse anything that tries to grow in the soil of your soul that doesn't align with my heart. Surround yourself with truth tellers. I will send people into your life who see your destiny without idolizing your elevation, who can celebrate your breakthrough while still correcting your blind spots. Don't isolate, and don't cling to voices that only affirm your comfort. Look for those who carry conviction and compassion. You're not meant to walk this alone. I will build a circle that carries my language and my pace, and with them you'll find strength. Honor your rhythms. Rest is not weakness. Silence is not passivity. You're not being lazy when you pull away to recalibrate. You're being wise. This kind of elevation demands cycles of refreshing. When I say pause, pause. When I say pull back, don't feel guilty. I'm not looking for your non-stop productivity. I'm looking for your sustained obedience. And sometimes obedience means resting in me. And lastly, stay grateful. Let thanksgiving become your posture. When I open a door, thank me. When you feel the wind shift, thank me. When nothing seems to happen on the outside, but your heart feels at peace, thank me. Gratitude protects your spirit from entitlement. It reminds you that this was always about me, not about what you could accomplish. And it keeps your eyes on the one who not only gave the gift, but walks with you through every part of it. This is how you walk in elevation, day by day, step by step, not in fear of falling, but in confidence that I am sustaining you. You are not rising alone. My glory is on you. My presence goes before you, and your faith in motion is how you remain, not just visible, but victorious. Now, my child, I want to talk to you about something even deeper than the battles you faced, deeper than the doors I'm opening. I want to speak to the very foundation of how you see yourself. Because what I'm building around you will only stand if what you believe within you is true. I'm not just elevating your position, I'm restoring your identity. You've been walking under pressure for so long that you started to forget who you are beneath the armor. But I remember, I never forgot, and now I am returning you to the original version of yourself. The one I saw before the doubt, before the criticism, before the delay, before the battle even began. You are not the tired version of yourself that fear tried to leave behind. You are not the confused version that pain tried to mold. You are not the overlooked one. You are not the forgotten one. You are not the one who missed their chance. You are mine, fully, deliberately, deeply mine. And every lie that told you otherwise is now being broken. You don't belong to your past. You don't belong to opinions. You don't belong to outcomes. You belong to me. And that changes everything. Let me tell you how I've always seen you. You are strong, not because you never struggled, but because you never gave up. You are pure, not because you never fell, but because you kept returning to me. You are chosen, not because others approved, but because I called you by name. You are whole, not because you were never broken, but because I've been restoring you in layers, one moment of grace at a time. And now I am speaking directly into the places of your identity that still carry the echo of old accusations. You are not too late. You are not too small. You are not too much. You are exactly who I need for this hour. You've spent years wondering if you were the problem. You replayed your past, analyzing what you could have done differently, thinking maybe the delay was a punishment. Maybe the silence was proof that I passed you over. But that's not how I work. I don't use shame to shape you. I use truth. I don't reject and replace. I refine and reveal. You were never disqualified. You were being developed. I hid you because you were holy, not because you were broken. I protected you from platforms that couldn't sustain the weight of what I was forming in you. And now that the weight is there, now that the roots have gone deep, I'm lifting the veil. I'm reintroducing you to yourself. Not the version the pain created, not the version that adapted to be accepted, but the one who is bold, the one who is radiant, the one who walks in authority and doesn't apologize for it. You don't need to shrink to keep others comfortable. You don't need to hide your voice to avoid misunderstanding. You don't need to question your value every time favor finds you. What I've placed on you is not too much. You were built for this. You were built for glory. And the weight of it fits you because I measured it for you. The next rooms you walk into will try to make you assess yourself again. The new favor will tempt you to wonder if you're ready. But here is what I want you to remember. You are not walking in because you climbed the ladder. You're walking in because I placed you there. And what I elevate, I protect. What I promote, I prepare. You don't need to perform. You need to be present, be rooted, be confident in the quiet. Let your stillness carry the weight of your history with me. That alone speaks louder than any resume. From this point forward, You will stop allowing others to name what only I can define. No more borrowing identity from titles. No more adapting yourself to be liked. No more rehearsing your story to make it palatable. Your process was holy. Your scars are evidence. Your tears were seeds. And now your identity is not something to defend. It's something to embody. You are no longer just someone who survived. You are someone who carries resurrection. So walk like it, think like it, speak like it. Let others adjust to your fullness. Don't reduce what I've restored. Don't dim what I've lit. Don't dilute what cost you everything to become. This is who you are, called, clean, covered, commissioned, and no voice, no fear, no past moment has the power to rewrite what I've written over you. You are who I say you are. And I say you are ready. My child, now that I've affirmed who you are and broken the false agreements that held you back, I want to give you the rhythm that will sustain the elevation I've released over your life. Because this next season is not just about walking into visibility. It's about carrying weight with wisdom. Glory is not sustained by gifts alone. It's sustained by intimacy, by the decisions you make when no one is looking, by the atmosphere you cultivate in your private world. What I've placed on your life is holy, and it must be protected with rhythm, not with rigidity, with presence, not performance. Begin with me before you move, before you respond, before the noise begins. Meet me in the morning, not just when it's convenient, but as your first breath. You don't need to be eloquent, just be available. I'm not coming to inspect your performance. I'm coming to pour strength into your soul. Just sit with me, even in silence. Let my peace meet your tension. Let my whisper override your worry. Let the stillness re-enter your spirit. You don't have to feel spiritual. You just need to be present. That's where clarity begins. Open my word, not for ritual, but for revelation. Don't read to finish a chapter. Read to find me. I'm not hiding in complicated commentary. I'm speaking through living sentences. I'll show you what matters for your now. I'll reveal what protects your next. Ask me before you read. Pause when something strikes you. Meditate on what convicts you. This is not about volume. It's about depth. Let my words shape your tone. Let it govern your pace. Let it be the script your soul rehearses when the world tries to rewrite what I've already spoken. Worship me everywhere. Let your home become a sanctuary. Let your car carry the sound of surrender. Let your voice rise even when your emotions feel low. Worship will keep your heart soft. It will guard you from pride when favor comes. It will protect your joy when warfare tries to linger. You don't need a stage to sing. You need awareness that I dwell in your praise. And where I dwell, fear cannot. Where I dwell, direction becomes clear. Pray with honesty, not with polished lines, but with raw hearts. Don't perform prayer, live in it. Talk to me throughout your day. Tell me when you feel overwhelmed. Ask me about the decisions. Pause long enough to hear what I say back. You don't need a formula. You need fellowship. That's where power begins. That's where revelation flows. You're not praying to inform me. You're praying to align yourself. And I will answer in whispers, in peace, in strategy, fast as I lead you, not out of duty but out of desire to stay sensitive. I may ask you to step back from something, not because it's bad, but because it's loud. Fasting clears clutter, it makes room, it sharpens your discernment. When I call you to it, respond quickly. The days I ask you to turn your plate over are the days I want to speak something that food or routine would drown out. Trust me in that. The small sacrifices prepare your spirit for big instruction. Be slow to speak and quick to listen. In this season of elevation, don't waste oil defending your journey. Stay rooted in what I've said. Let me be your vindication. Stay low in heart, even as I lift you high in influence. Humility will preserve your voice when favor grows louder. Protect your peace. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It's a sign you're attuned to my presence. If something grieves your spirit, take it seriously. If a place feels heavy, ask me why. I will teach you how to walk with open hands and guarded hearts. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You're carrying something weighty now. Not everything or everyone has permission to access you. Let me lead your boundaries. I'm not building walls around you. I'm creating windows for my glory to shine through. Surround yourself with people who don't just celebrate your gift, but protect your soul. I'm sending relationships that carry language for your journey. They will confirm, correct, and cover. They won't need your platform. They'll care for your heart. Walk with them. Don't isolate. Don't overexpose. Walk in fellowship with discernment. I will build a circle that reflects the new season, not the one you outgrew. And finally, write what I say. Document the whispers, record the confirmations, save the moments where my voice pierced the fog. These are not just journal entries. They are stones of remembrance. They are blueprints. They are the evidence you'll return to when warfare tries to blur your clarity again. Your history with me is holy, and it is in writing that you'll find clarity when your emotions are unclear. This is how you sustain what I've given, with rhythm, with intimacy, with awareness with me. You're not returning to hustle. You're not going back to proving. You're walking forward in peace, in grace, in glory, and I will walk with you every step. My beloved, hear me with a fully open spirit. The shift is not coming. It has already begun. You are no longer standing on the edge of breakthrough. You are walking in it. You are not waiting to be seen. You're being revealed. This is not a future moment you must prepare for. This is now. And what I'm doing cannot be reversed, delayed, or explained by natural reasoning. What I'm releasing is not a response to your striving. It's a response to your surrender. You stayed when it was hard. You stayed when it was quiet. You stayed when others moved on. And now I say to you, with all of heaven behind it, I am elevating you in front of every doubt. I've already spoken your name in rooms you didn't know existed. I've already opened doors your hands didn't touch. I've already shifted conversations behind the scenes. What once resisted is now making room. What once felt like a wall is now becoming a gate, and you will know this is me, not by the applause of people, but by the weight of peace resting on what I've called you into. It won't feel like striving. It will feel like home. Some of what is coming will arrive suddenly. Don't be surprised when momentum builds fast. This is not instability, it's acceleration. You've waited long enough. You've processed deeply enough. You've been prepared. You've been purified. Now it's time not to prove yourself, but to present what I formed in you. You won't need to defend your authority. The oil will speak. You won't need to compete. The fruit will confirm. I'm bringing your name to minds and mouths that once overlooked you, not for your glory, but for mine. The elevation I'm doing now is not a spotlight, it's a signal. A signal to those watching that I am faithful to those who wait on me. A signal to those who doubted that I defend those who walk with me in private. A signal that the season of silence was not stagnation, it was setup. People will begin to see you differently, not because you've changed your posture, but because I've changed their perception. You will begin to feel honor from unexpected places, respect from people who once overlooked, invitations you never asked for. You will walk into rooms with answers, not anxiety, not because you have all the information, but because you carry my presence, and that presence will do what explanations never could. The ones who spoke doubt over your destiny will now witness demonstration. This is not about revenge. It's about redemption.